Okay, today I'm switching cases today, and today I'm going to build a Cooler Master Haf XB Evo. This is the new revision where everything's set up SATA, and it now supports 3.5-inch drives. So I have our motherboard plate out, and I have put in our motherboard standoffs. A way to put in and remove motherboard standoffs is always when you get anything with motherboard standoffs, you get this free little tool right here. And what this is it's a hex on this side, and then it's a Phillips head on this side. So you can actually take a screwdriver and put it on the Phillips and actually turn the standoffs. So whenever you do the standoffs, you just put it on there and tighten it, loosen it, whatever you need to do. That's how you put them on, is you just clip that on there, put it in, start threading it on. So first off, what we need to do is I already have my motherboard pre-assembled because I got it out of my other tower. You know, put it this way because the I/O plate is over here. Clicks right there into these grooves on the standoffs. And once you have that, then we get our motherboard screws and start putting them in. This will probably be the easiest to clean case that I will probably ever have in my life, and hopefully the only one that I'll ever need if I'm lucky, because you can do everything to the board out of the case on a plate, and you could just take it out and work on the heatsink if you needed to upgrade it, because it's got a big hole in the back of the plate that you can actually get to that through, which makes it easier to upgrade. Okay, all of them are in. Here's your plate. If you flip it over, there's a big access cutout right here that you can actually access your heatsink, to where you can replace it, do whatever you need. So there's our board. So now, putting our motherboard to the side, we now have our XB Evo. We have this by itself with all of the panels off of it. And the first thing that we're going to do is back here. This is where your power supply goes in. We need to take this access panel off first. I could probably just put my power supply in through the side, but I don't care. I think this is pretty cool. So now we want to take our power supply, and with the fan facing down, want to feed our wires to the case and out the side. To push the power supply through till it stops, and we take the bezel, match the holes up, slide it up, take our thumb screws. Seems that if you, of course, go in a crisscross pattern, they seem to go on a lot easier because it spreads it evenly. Alright, and we have that set up now. We take our power supply screws and screw our power supply in. I picked silver personally because I thought it was a good contrast with the gray and the black. Okay, now that we've done that, we've gotten our power supply in. I have my plate for the back of the motherboard I'm going to put in. We just put it in through the side. And pop it in. Now that's popped in. Now I know that my motherboard's main power plug-in is going to be on the front on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 24 pin and bring it around and up right here. That right there will do. So that's routed up. We know our other ATX ports will be over here on the left side. So we will just run them around the side where the side panel is. And we'll be able to plug those in as well. And then we'll zip tie those down to the actual frame. Want to switch these fans in the front with my LED fans from my previous rig. So I'm going to take the front panel off by pushing these tabs that are on the side and top of the case. Like so. Then we have direct access to the fans on the front of the case, which are classic, awesome Cooler Master fans. These are really nice fans. I definitely think that with the price of the case, those fans definitely have to do a bit with it, because these are very nice fans. So in order to take the fans off, we have to take these screws out right here. Okay, now that we've done that, I can get my Zignatex out. A bright orange UV fan. And these originally come with white LEDs. I'll put a link to these in the description. These are very nice and they're pretty quiet. But these originally come with white LEDs, but with how handy I am, I took a soldering gun and I soldered on some yellow LEDs so it actually glows orange. I don't have to worry about the power supply very bad on these fans because I have a fan controller that I'm going to put in for these. One thing I'd like to note is that you can actually loosen and actually move these fans about so you can get perfect positioning on whatever you're trying to cool or stuff like that. It really gives you a lot of options on this. Very compatible. So now we are going to hook up the power to our PCB board that goes to our quick swap ports for our hard drives. So we want to keep in mind we're going to have to power ports over where our drive bays are, so we need to keep our two SATAs that are together, and we need to route them over to here, which conveniently enough there's a tab down there, so I can zip tie that and not have to worry about it. I'm going to use my little Swiss Army knife I inherited from my great-grandfather to cut zip ties, because that's what I've always used these for, along with everything else. These are right here, and we can hook them into our drives when we get them in there. Now we can take our other SATA powers. We need to hook one in here, which I might add another drive over on this side, so we can leave this SATA port like coming over here. And we'll plug this one in right here into the PCB board and get another zip tie out and zip tie that down also. Now that that's good, I can take a couple of SATA cables, our main stuff. We're going to take these SATAs, we're going to tuck this cord because this cord is very long, and one of these is 1 and one of these is SATA 1 and SATA 2, so what I'm going to do is I I'm going to take something and mark the end of the cords that goes up by the motherboard so that I know which one to plug in which slot to correspond with my boot settings. Alright, so we've ran our hard drive SATAs over and behind and put them under the frame rail so that they're out of the way of the motherboard. We can zip tie those together to keep them out of the way. To put our front panel back on like that. There we go. Now once we've done this, it's time to put our hard drives back in. Do this. Let's see, SATA 1 should be my system drive of Windows and Linux. So we toggle this, door comes open, flip it open, pull it straight out. Then you can push this tab over here and it will pop wide to where we can take the drive, snap our rivets in, and we're ready to slide it in. Just push it in. Pop the door closed. Click, and there you go. Now we can put our 3 terabyte system drive in, the storage drive. Match it up with the rivets on the regular side, pop them in. Close the other side. Pop those rivets in. Push it in. And click it shut. Now we can put our DVD and our fan controller in. To put our DVD and fan controller in, all we have to do is push these prongs and pull these out. Which, the only hard part about this is to figure out where you want your DVD drive and where do you want your fan controller, and so on and so on. Okay, so we got our fan controller and hub and DVD drive in right here, and this went in right with the quick attachment, and this one of course is too short. So what we did is the quick connect actually pops right off to where you can actually put your screws in on the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to put those screws in. Okay, we have our wires where we want to run, and we put the back fan in. So now it's time to finally drop our board in. Now we can put our motherboard in. Put it straight down. Guide it in a bit. Put a 24 pin over the edge. Slide it up, and our holes should match up perfect. Take our thumb screws and screw the motherboard tray in. Put that in. I can take my 24 pin power hook up. Hook it in here. Now we take the case USB 3.0. Hook it in right here. The HD audio plug, which we can zip tie down. Now we have all of our fans and all of our cords routed and hooked up. All of our hard drives are in there. So now all that's left to do is to put our cards in. First we have our Wi-Fi, which will go right here. Wi-Fi card, like so. Now for GPU. And now our sound card, which will be this slot. And that pretty much sums it up. Now we're ready to put our panels back on. A quick footnote, the fans that you choose to install, you can either install on the outside of the XB case or on the inside like I have. If you install them on the inside, you'll have slightly less room on the inside of the case. You can still get the motherboard tray in and out with those fans in, or you can install them on this side. Factory, they're on this side. But I put mine on the inside because there's a lot of airflow going in, like direct to the board now. I haven't seen any big difference in airflow if you put them on the inside or outside of the case, just the space and difference. I recommend putting them on the inside anyway, because if you go to put anything on the front grille, like if you put like a big chrome piece, like such as this charger emblem on the front of the grill, you'll have enough room to be able to like put posts through with nuts on them or whatever and be able to do that. So that's a good little modding tip. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed putting together this case.